Hello guys, here's my cup. I took third place in a rapid tournament, and in this video I'm gonna tell you about the tournament, and I'm also gonna tell you about some details of my preparation for the World Rapid and Blitz Chess Championship. Here's the starting list, and as you can see I was top seed. However, the tournament was pretty strong, especially comparing to the previous tournament which I played in. So like 13 or 14 Grandmasters, and overall a big problem that 248 participants, which is very bad in terms of showing a good result and taking a top place. Because 248 participants, it means that you have to score a lot of points. Maybe even a bigger problem was that I had to take a flight to participate in this tournament. So I flew from Astana to Almaty on Saturday's evening. Then I slept one night in a hotel, and next day I took a taxi and moved there. The tournament started at 10 o'clock. It lasted 8 hours. After the closing ceremony, I took a flight back and returned home at night. How do you like that? That's why I'm pretty happy with my result. I felt like I played better than the previous time. The time control was 10 plus 2, so it was kind of mix of rapid and blitz, because first you have time to think, but in the end you have only 2 seconds. I mean, when you are low on time, you have only 2 seconds to make a move. And for some players it was difficult to transit from rapid to blitz. For me it was more or less okay. I started with 5 out of 5, which was good. In round 6 I was pressing, but I didn't win. And round 7 for me, I was playing black, and it was kind of, I was trying to, like, I was thinking if I should play solid or like doing something to play for a win. And in the end I was not able to do like both at the same time. Like I couldn't decide, and like played not a good game. And what is good in round 8, okay, in round 8 it was more or less easy win. And in round 9 with black, once again, as in my last tournament, I was able to play for a win with black, and I was able to win. Thanks to the win in the last round, I scored 7.5, and I had a very good tiebreak, so I took third place. From this tournament, there is not much to show you in terms of chess part, just a few moments. I enjoyed my game from the first round. I was playing black against a boy who was rated 1565, if I'm not mistaken. So I played black. It was e4, c5, knight f3, knight f6, d5, knight d5, bishop d5, knight d5, bishop b5. This is already good for black, because I have the bishop pair. Then he found a nice tactical idea. He played c4. For a second, I thought like, okay, I will play bishop c6 and that's it. I'm still fine. I'm still better. Then I thought like, can I take the pawn? So I took the pawn. He didn't realize what happened. He still played queen a4 quite fast. And after b5, he resigned quite fast in like maybe 5-6 moves from this position. This is a game from round 2. I played against 1769, and I was playing white, c4, knight f6, knight c3, g3, d5, c d5, knight d5, bishop g2, knight c7. Here I actually don't know too much. So I played d3, e5, queen b3. I knew one idea about giving up the light squared bishop. Bishop takes c6, bc6. Then knight f3, and the point is that the target for white is the pawn on c5. So I played knight e4. Overall, my idea is to play a bishop e3 and then like maybe rook c1 and taking the pawn on c5. So he played knight e6, bishop e3, and knight d4, because otherwise rook c1 and so on. So knight d4, but bishop takes, and queen c4, attacking the pawn on c6 and being kind of annoying for black, because it's not so convenient to defend this pawn. My opponent found the best move, which is just castling. Queen takes c6 is too risky for white because of bishop b4 check. So I castled, bishop h3, rook c1, and the problem for black that it's still the c6 pawn is quite weak, and it's difficult to defend it. While weakness of my king is not easy to use at all. So he played c5, but like just a bad move and like a terrible mistake. But if he played rook c8, then I would do kind of similar thing, taken on d6 and queen c5, offering to exchange the queens, and black either takes on c5 or he loses the e5 pawn. And after queen, if queen takes c5, rook takes c5, rook c1, my king is safe without the queens on the board, so easy play for white. But instead he made it even worse. He played c5, knight d6, queen c5. So I'm already a pawn up, and he is forced to exchange the queens because otherwise I take the pawn on e5. So queen c5, rook c5, f6, rook c1, rook c8. And eventually we exchanged the rooks, and this endgame I won more or less easily. I'm a pawn up, so just the plan is just slowly going forward, and that's it. Somewhere here after round 1 and round 2 I realized that here guys played somehow worse than in my previous tournament, where I was kind of shocked by the level of 1800, 1900, or maybe I was just you know, out of practice, and in this tournament I already was doing better. And one more game from round 3 against 2087. One of the reasons why I show you these games is just for you to see that this time the start was okay, so no problems. And like if you remember, in my previous tournament it was like 1900 players, they showed a good level of play and it was not that easy to beat them. This time it was different, and you know, I was already after winning like 3 out of 3. I felt much better and I was on my up streak. So round 3, knight f3, yes, kind of. Knight c3 is a tricky move to avoid my Sicilian with knight f6. Here, knight d4, just like a move to make, stopping d4. Actually, the main reason to show you this game is a nice idea by my opponent. However, it didn't help him. So e5, c3, bishop c5, developing my bishop, queen f6, attacking the pawn on f2, so it's not that convenient for white to defend the pawn. Queen c2, yeah, makes sense. I played knight e7, bishop c4, a6. a6 was a useful move for me. I wanted to play d6, but I didn't like bishop b5 check. So I kind of bluffing here. I was kind of bluffing here. Like, I thought that he will be afraid of b5, and he was afraid of b5, and he played a4. So I played d6, and I was waiting for him to castle, because here the sign is the knight on g3, and of course h5. You don't need to ask me twice. The threat is h4 and then h3. He played bishop e3, h4, bishop takes dc5, and looks like here I was like, okay, I was already winning, yeah. Because if he moves away the knight, then I play h3, then my knight can go to g6, to f4. Yes, one of the key ideas is that if knight e2, h3, he cannot really play g3, just queen f3, and the game is over. But he found, yeah, a nice move, a nice idea. He played rook a d1. And here I spent quite a while of time to find, to think what to do. So the main point is that after h take g3, f take g3. And it just, I don't know, it just probably just lost for black. At the very least, very dangerous. And I thought, like, can I do something like maybe bishop g4 move, maybe like b5 somewhere, maybe just knight g6. I also thought about moving my queen away. So if he moves his knight away, then I would have bishop h3. But it still like was not so clear. Yeah, queen g6, I think I didn't like some ideas of knight f5, giving up a pawn. So I take, bishop f5, and then queen e2. And it was not clear to me if I would be in time to defend the e5 pawn, because obviously I need to castle. So eventually I decided like, okay, I will be better anyway. I mean, if I simply castle, this is what I did, because now he will be forced to move his knight away. This is what he did, knight e2, now h3. He still cannot play g3. Yeah, he still cannot play g3 because of queen f3. And he played rook d3, hg2, knight g6, and this position is obviously better for black thanks to the pawn structure, and white's king is just worse. The only thing I need here is to develop my bishop and my rook, and that's it. And white is not, let's say, ahead of me to create anything on the king side. So eventually I won the game. So just a funny idea. Yes, I didn't even think about that, but fortunately it was not a problem. Yes, I'm not obliged to take on g3. Yeah, chess-wise, that's it. Maybe it was something else to show you, but let's stop on this. Overall, I'm happy with my result, and I feel better about my play. Now it's time for a brief report on my preparation, so how it's going, and if I do anything at all. Let's go. Overall, I do something, so it's not bad, but a bigger picture I will give you later. For now, let's focus on some things that I mentioned in one of my previous videos, so chess part. Analyzing recent games. I haven't done that. Watching videos, games from Rapid and Blitz. This is what I started to do yesterday. I watched day 1 of previous Blitz championship, mainly games of Carlsen, at least something. Practice OTB, Blitz and Rapid. Here I did my best. I played 2 Rapid tournaments, so it's very good. Training games OTB. Before going to this Rapid tournament, Kanaev Cup in Almaty, I played a 6-game match against World Junior Champion under 20, and it was pretty bad for me. I mean, I played against him a year ago in December, also kind of preparing for the previous championship. I was dominating a year ago, while this time he was dominating. Oh, of course, he has improved, but I felt it was also about me playing worse. And we played a Blitz match. Overall, it was like I played slowly, so this is something to improve. And I also played against him a few days ago, also six games. This time it was better. I won 3.5, 2.5. I'm glad that I have played some training games, OTB. Practice Title Tuesday. This is the easiest part. I regularly play Title Tuesday. So far it's nothing special. I usually score about 8 out of 11. And I'm gonna play 1 more tournament today. Overall, I think 5 tournaments left. Hopefully, I will show a better result. But overall, it's okay. Watching strong streamers. This is something I haven't done yet. And I'm actually not really upset about that, but yeah, maybe something to do. Mighty 7. This is what I started to do today. I was doing Guess the Move training with games of Carlsen from previous Rapid Championship. Training and solving puzzles. This is what I do regularly, so it's more or less okay. However, I spend quite a lot of time on Puzzle Rush. You know, I'm even like, if I start, then I go like one more, and kind of being addicted to that. So it's better not to start, but I also do some training on the real board, solving some puzzles. But yeah, I need to do more. But comparing to other points, maybe it's okay how much time I spend on this. Training based on some books or reading something. Not really, but okay. And the last point, endgame training. I've done something, was reading a book on the endgame, solving some basic puzzles from that book, so not bad. 7 out of 10, I think pretty good. But I think I need to spend more time on training, so doing more. And by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, of course, opening training, which I haven't done yet. And this is something, of course, I need to do. That's it. That's the news at the moment. Thank you for watching and see you later.